Hello, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. We'll be starting up in a couple minutes. Beautiful. I hope everyone is having an incredible day. How's it going, Winston, Justin, Steve, Daniel? I appreciate all you guys stopping by tonight. It's my favorite day of the week. Brooke Law, sending you some love. Says I need more content from you during these times to ease my nerves. I think less is more. I'd rather make 2 really good videos every week than make 4 or 5 mediocre ones. It's just my style. That's beautiful. We have 200 people up in here already. That's great. Well, let's start this one off by saying I am very grateful for all of you guys showing up tonight. Sending high vibes and love to the Wolfpack globally. Wherever you are, I appreciate you showing up. Thank you, Bob. So Ahmad says, can you tell us more about Satan, Lucifer, the devil? What are the differences between them and why are those beings mixed up so much? Well, the reason they're mixed up is due to religion. Religion is essentially indoctrination, and it's more alike than it is different once you start to study it all. The top 3 religions are essentially identical, all plagiarizing off of the same origin stories that go back to ancient Egypt and Sumeria. So it would take a lot of study in order to get to a point where you start to realize that Satan is not Saturn. We are the devil, essentially. That's what's going on here. The Matrix realm, humans. We're the devils. Lucifer could be perceived as Venus, the light bearer. Some people might debate that. Saturn is Father Time, King of Earth. A lot to say about that. Let's say hi to a couple more people before we break it all down. Aldona, hi, how are you? Scott. Jason. Crypto Kahuna says, love the last video you and Logan did together. Thank you both for teaching us newbies who are trying to learn decoding. Much love. I appreciate you. Yeah, that was a really fun conversation I had with Logan yesterday. And I don't know how many people were aware of this. I don't know if Logan and I brought this up, but we actually planned that last minute. We kind of just had a short conversation and said, let's shoot for Thursday. I kind of had the idea in my head because of 11/11, and we both had pretty busy mornings, and then just kind of called each other and said, hey, you busy in the next 15 minutes? And then just kicked it off. So it was pretty surprising, and of course it ended up being an incredibly illuminating time. Every time that me and Logan get to chat with each other, whether it's on the record or off the record, it's always expansion based. It's very abundant. We both have this way of, I think, bringing out the best in each other and helping each other expand. So I'm going to get past these parts where people are saying no sound because I suppose I was away at that time. Hello, C-Rax. Okay, everyone's saying the mic is clear. Beautiful. $300 people up in here. Amazing. Start to get to some comments here. The first thing I read is from Dow. Says, I'm not gay, but I love your voice, Jordan. Oh, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Did make me laugh pretty loud, though. Ishara says, gonna confess. Call took a sick day from work so I could tune in. Wow. That's amazing. I wouldn't recommend doing that, though, anymore. The economy is about to, like, crater. The economy is about to crumble to ashes. If you have a job right now, it's probably best you get the most out of it while you can before this whole transition comes. Could talk a little bit more about that later. What are my thoughts on Mary Jane? I don't smoke. I don't think that smoking's good for you, but I don't mind eating it once in a while, depending on the scenario. I just stick to mushrooms if I'm gonna do anything. How's it going, Rob Dog, Bob, Walters, Diggs? I'm glad that you got one of the new shirts, Diggs. I'm really happy with the way that merch turned out. I should actually show the merch while we are all here. Let me pause this trippy thing going on. Let's see if... Jeez Louise. What's going on here in the Matrix? Can't even get to my own fucking website. There we go. Alrighty. Let's check this out. This is the new merch I just released for 11/11. I'm not entirely sure how much detail you can make out on this, but for those of you that have known about my merch for a while, it's still the same front face with a different Gematria tag on it, but we have this all blacked out vibe. And the thoughts behind it were because we're transitioning out of the year of Saturn and we are in the Shemitah, and this is very, very dark times. And the idea behind this merch was that we are the light out of the darkness. And I brought this up in the podcast that I did with Logan yesterday. But this logo right here, I actually designed. It's the lunar cycles making up the shape of an eye, and then the Taurus field is the pupil, and then there's the black pill at the bottom, and then on the back it's Chief Wolf. I'm not sure if it'll zoom in, but yeah. So this is at WatersAbove.shop. It's my merch website. And then there's a little decode on the bottom for everyone who gets this merch to figure out. Guys got a little treasure hunt. Chief Wolf. Let me get out of here before my computer locks out and destroys this whole live stream. Just going to let this buffer for a moment while we're getting going so it doesn't mess everything up. Just ate a cup of mushroom soup. Sounds really, really nice. Sounds like a chill Friday for you, Munir. Let's hope that this is not getting destroyed because it's a little bit laggy. So let this kind of load and then get back. Okay, it seems like everyone's kind of okay. So transmission's coming through onto the other side. Very nice. Los Lopez, I appreciate you. Law, I do not edit any of my videos, actually. All the videos that I do are one take. I just press screen record, I go for it, and then I end the video and I immediately upload it. I don't even rewatch any of my videos before I upload them. I just go for the gold. I'm not really into planning. I like to kind of just like go off the cuff. Do a little bit of planning with my decodes, but outside of that, I don't get too caught up in it. Says, bro, you need 100k subs. I don't know about that. That sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot of people to follow my work. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Sending you love over to Nigeria. Nigeria in the house. Wow. That's amazing. Sending you love, Raleigh, over to Melbourne, Australia. I appreciate you being here. So Ryan has a question that is pretty interesting. Something to get into. He says, do you find that people rely on your content too much, almost cult-like, rather than taking the message and embracing their own journey? Well, I think that cryptocurrency in general is very it's very anxiety inducing. So because it can make people so anxious, if they do find a content creator that they vibe with, that they enjoy, they might get a little bit off the rails in regards to the way that they align with the content. Now, I don't necessarily know how people feel about my work at that level, because, you know, ultimately the delivery of my message is like anti-cult. I actually, the overall directive and mission statement of my work is to actually save people from cults. And you could hear this in my voice. You could hear this in the way that I say so blatantly my perception of what's going on here in cryptocurrency and the economy as a whole. So, you know, my whole concept of delivery with my words is all about unlearning. I visualize that I speak my truths, my higher self channels in this message, and people either vibe with it or they don't, and that it is what it is. I'm never going to go against my higher self, though, because my higher self sets my path, and as long as I stay on that path, I get rewarded. And it's not like a reward of finances or a reward of followers. It's the reward of where I'm going in this cosmic journey. So, I mean, I'm the first person probably to come out and say that, like, hey, you know, this is just what it is. But it, again, is my truth. And anything is possible in the Matrix. And I would never want anyone to consider that my way is the only way and my way is the only truth. I've also said this many times. I've said that my truth is mine and it's not the truth. You have your own truth and you should embrace that. What I do want to interject with, though, is sometimes my work could be so multifaceted and above where some people are at in their journey of investing. And what this does is they take some of the things I say in my videos as these like predictions or something, when in reality I'm actually a technical analyst. So it's my job to provide people upside and downside targets and to give reasons why we might be hitting those on those particular days that it happens. And that's where Gematria Numerology and Astrology comes into play. So what I wish people would do more often is be a little bit more patient with the things that I say, because sometimes we'll get to a particular day after I made a video and people are like, hey man, why isn't there anything happen? And then of course it eventually happens. And it's not because I said it, or I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just, I'm putting in a lot of work to decode this market. Like, I'm not just pulling it out of thin air. The numbers that I'm showing people are undeniable. So, I mean, take it for what it is, but I could see it creating a reliance, but anyone who really knows me, and especially anyone who's listened to my last 3 or 4 Red Pill episodes, you'll know that in my Red Pill episodes, I was saying that I want to give people something comprehensive so they could learn a strategy and essentially not need me anymore. You know, if by becoming a patron of mine, you could get access to my Gematria Masterclass, which is a 5-part series. And even though I might not cover or decode the coin that you particularly hold, those 4 decodes that I do will allow you to be able to see my exact strategy of how you can decode the coins that you're most interested in. And I think that that's a skill set that could last forever in this world, because I assume that the more people who find my work, you know, you're seeing the power of Gematria. You're seeing how important it is. And it could be utilized in the stock market. It could be utilized in Forex. It could be utilized even in world events, weather, modification, laws that are passed, any PSYOP. It's all coming back to the code. Whether it's man's intervention or whether it's completely by accident and it's predetermined by whatever, you know, simulation algorithm. I can't profess to say that I know with 100% certainty exactly what's going on here. But what I can say is that in my work in this market, I'm aware that Bitcoin was designed from day one on the Genesis block to fulfill an algorithm. And this algorithm has been playing itself out time and time again, and I do not think it will ever deviate from it. And because it's such a scarce model regarding the blockchain technology and regarding the code in and of itself, with the halving structure, and all of those other things. You know, people might be a lot more technically inclined to understand what's going on here, but you almost don't need to be. That's how simple it is at that level. Once you see that it's a big algorithm and it's just repeating itself on a cycle, and that this cycle ties back to the code, you know, it saves us a lot of time and a lot of energy, and it should also make people less anxious, because if everyone remembers, like, what was it, 3 or 4 weeks ago, allegedly China banned Bitcoin. So how the fuck is Bitcoin at all-time highs right now? You know, it's like, but remember, like, this is why I don't even talk about stuff like that. This is why I don't talk about Evergrande, or why I don't talk about banning Bitcoin in one other country, because it doesn't matter. We're in the year of Saturn, the 21 year, in Shemitah, and before the end of every Shemitah, they pump up the market and then collapse it. You don't need news. You don't need the SEC. You don't need all that extra stuff. You're just filling up your fucking brain with nonsense. You're better off reading a book. So that's what I want my work to be, you know, when all is said and done. It's just, here's the code. It's a skill that actually has utility, and it could be applied and save yourself a lot of energy from the dopamine spike that comes from the FUD and the FOMO of the news and mainstream media, or social media, if you want to call it that. Yeah, add a beaver. That 69K Bitcoin call was pretty wild. I'm almost surprised that it came to fruition the way that it did. Yes, I believe in giants and titans, and I believe we'll probably see them again in our lifetime. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, Lucifer is the sun, for sure. Yeah, you could say that. I'm not going to deny that the sun is the sun is Lucifer. But again, what do we actually know? You know, we could decode this all day. Like, Logan has such an incredible decode. breaking that down a little bit more, and I urge everyone go see that because it's everything he does is amazing. But in particular, this idea of studying the mythologies and how it all ties back into everything is more what I try to focus on. And I was actually had a phone conversation with Logan discussing Horus and how if you actually go into Google and you put in the search engine, what is the Egyptian equivalent of Saturn, you're going to see that nasa.gov, literally NASA, tries telling us that the Egyptian equivalent of Saturn is Horus. And remember, Horus is the daylight. So Horus fights Seth to win the daylight and then gets defeated in the nighttime, where Seth rules the night. Some people get Horus confused with the sun, but the sun is Ra. Anyways. No, we don't talk about crypto in these live streams too much. This is for expanding our consciousness. We talk about crypto all the other days of the week. This is a time to kick back and relax and talk about shit that actually matters. Sending you love over to Holland, Cass. So many people from the Netherlands following my work. I am so grateful for all of you. Inna Ash, appreciate you showing up. Much love to you. Much love over to Switzerland. That's amazing. New Street Culture says, much love, Jordan. Advanced trading course is amazing. Thank you very much for teaching us how to fish. Greatly appreciated, Omar. I'm really glad that everyone's liking that advanced trading course that I released. I don't even think I've brought it up on YouTube yet. So it's like really the only people who are aware of it are my are my patrons. So yeah, that's really dope that so many people are like kind of spreading the word on it too. I'll probably discuss it closer to Black Friday publicly, but I wanted to get all the patrons in on a big discount before going public. Take care of my patrons first. You know what I'm saying? Michael says Waters is the GOAT. I bought XRP at 51 cents. He called it. Oh shit. That's awesome, man. I'm actually not the GOAT though. I'm the dragon. Much love, Dino. Okay. T. Livingston says, going through some very hard times right now. Thankful for your live stream, brother. Much love. Let's all send our brother T. Livingston some high vibes, everyone. Send our brother some love. It's going to be okay, brother. It's just part of the journey, man. There's resistance that we all have to face, right? And this is a big part of why this community is going to be so important in the future. It's going to be so much more than crypto. We're going to have each other's backs in all ways. And we have your back, so don't worry. High vibes are headed your way. All you have to do is accept them. Aaron says favorite artists / bands. The Mars Volta would be one of my favorite projects. Kanye West, Tool. What else? I'm a big fan of Big L, Nas. What else? I really like this band called Between the Buried and Me. The Fania All Stars, or La Fania All Stars. It's a Puerto Rican salsa band. Really, really incredible. I like everything. I really do. I love music. I've been playing music my whole life. It's my number one passion. So that's typically what I put most of my energy into on a daily basis. I don't know if you guys know this, but I work like 14 to 15, probably 14 hours a day on average, but I also play guitar like 2 or 3 hours a day on average. So I barely have any like, yeah, I've been sleeping like 4 or 5 hours every day, which I've actually kind of settled in on. Like I feel like I'm okay with that little sleep. I've been getting better at that. Okay, should probably get to some of these super chats. Oh, Tito, $10 super chat. I appreciate you, brother. Or could be a sister, but anywho. Do you think oil will crumble with the economy too? So, Tito, I actually do believe that we'll have a deflationary event for the dollar in 2022, but it doesn't necessarily mean that food prices and oil will also be inverse reaction to that. So we could have hyperinflation in the energy sector and in food, agricultural products altogether, and then also still have the DXY gain strength. So it's something to consider because it's possible. We have like a completely fraudulent economy, a fraudulent system at this time because of printing. So, and it's been like this for quite a while. I would just like to say, to answer your question, I think oil will hit 90 a barrel potentially before the end of the year, and I see it as a high likelihood into at least Q1 of 2022. So I think oil will go up. Okay, KW says, bro, the occult and crypto is genius. I appreciate your super chat, KW, and thank you so much for supporting my work. Appreciate you. Fazil Medhani says, got the 55, is this Danish crowns? I appreciate you. Thank you. I think that's Danish crowns, if I know my currencies correctly. It says, if Noah had two of each animal in the ark as written, could it be DNA he had of the animals? So that's actually the story that they plagiarized coming back from the Sumerian story of the Noah ark tale. So, yeah, go study that. I forgot the name, the Sumerian equivalent. I think it was like Ashnaputnam or something. I don't remember how to pronounce it, but anyways, it was like thousands of years before Noah was even an idea, and they had these in tablet form, like cuneiform, essentially, the original story of this, and yeah. So in the original, they were saying it was two of each seed. And I think that's kind of like the shit that like CERN is doing, and some of these like NSA and these guys, like they're starting to get into like hoarding yeasts and hoarding different strains of yeasts and seeds, and they're getting pretty weird about it. Apocalyptic for sure. But yeah, this story has been plagiarized many times, the Noah story. Many stories very similar that came before it, and instead of two of each animal, the oldest dated story we have is two of each seed, which kind of could sound like something very techy, like like technological. Perhaps it was vials, or what are they called? Slides, holding. Anyways, yeah, it's a great question. Great question. It could also be an analogy, right? That's another thing to consider. A lot of that stuff it's like an allegory, I suppose was the better word. Jason Fish, 777 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Says, should we all cash out at the top of the bull run and buy the dip at the bottom of the economic crater? What other assets would you accumulate? So, well, of course you want to cash out because crypto is known to have very steep corrections that could be, 80%, 90% is normal. And, it's pretty funny because I've been calling for 90 to 95% corrections in 2022. Probably like the transition into Q2. Let's just call it like February. I think we're going to start noticing some problems, and then into March of 2022, I think it's going to be noticeable. But I've said that, like, I think by next year, around January of 2023, I could see there being a 95% average loss amongst most of these altcoins. And I think a lot of altcoins won't even make it that far. They'll just disappear altogether. That was what happened in 2018. And people get really mad at that because, it's not that they don't want to hear the truth. But besides that, we just watched in May, like literally recently, we just watched some cryptos lose 90% of their value just in the May to June dip. So it's funny how people deny this stuff, And there's all these cryptos with no technology at all tied to them. They don't even have working capital, only going up in price due to leverage and retail speculation. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, I would definitely recommend, again, not financial advice, but I'm going to be cashing out this whole January month. I see as an opportunity to de-risk from this incredible bubble called cryptocurrency, because it is a bubble, whether you like it or whether you're obsessed with this sector, you just have to fucking admit that. It's just so inflated by leverage, options, futures, tether. It's nonsense. But it's beautiful because we're aware of the manipulation. So all we have to do is put ourselves on the right side of that manipulation, and then we can take advantage of it. And that's the whole goal of what I'm trying to teach people. Whether the shit is fake or not fake, it doesn't actually matter, because dollars are fake as well. But those dollars you can use to go buy yourself food. So you just eventually have to give in, right? Like, have 1 foot in the matrix, 1 foot out. Otherwise, you're just living in a fairy tale reality. Let's see what other KW says, when I get rich, it's mandatory I send you at least $100,000, bro. I appreciate you thinking about me when you strike it big, but just send love and high vibes. I'll take that. I'll take the love energy. I appreciate you a lot. Seriously. Let me see if we could get some questions. Sending you love over to Texas. Ooh. Looks like these questions got a little bit off for a moment. Let me try to backtrack. So how is my audio sounding, everyone? Am I sounding clear for everyone still? Just want to make sure. Let me go back a little more. Got a lot of people commenting. Let's see, Dow's super chat says 10-6 eclipse at the North Polar region, 12-4 Sagittarius eclipse in Sagittarius at the Antarctic region. Do you think this is a harbinger of dark winter? Honestly, they've been saying this dark winter shit for many winters now, and we are in grand solar minimum, undoubtedly. But, the weather modification that they're doing is very ritualized, and I wonder how much of it are they preventing? Like, how much shitty weather are they actually preventing? Because people think that these chemtrails are to, everyone has different opinions, but I essentially think that these chemtrails are to slow down an ice age. That's how I perceive it. So I think that they're actually trying to slow down the inevitable. But that might be a conversation we just have to have another time, because I'll keep talking about it forever. Okay, I think I lost some questions, but it's all good in the hood because we'll have more people show up. Yeah, I have seen the FPV Angel channel a while ago, though. It's pretty interesting. The energy, though, that emits from that type, I'm not really too down with. I'm just like full of wonder. there's certain things that I've come to a position on through evidence where I could say, without overthinking, that it just kind of is what it is. But when it comes to the shape of our realm, I think people need to be a little bit more calm about that. I think people need to be a little bit more like chill, because you don't know. And the more you know, the more you're just kind of like filling up your data bank with, like, it just gets to be a little bit concerning that people give this earth shape thing so much of their energy when they could be applying their energy elsewhere. This flat earth community is so massive at this point. It's probably making up like 2 to 3% of the world's population. If 3% of the world's population right now decided to like take over the banking system, it would actually work. Like, it doesn't take a lot of the percentage of the world to make change. So I think we're all kind of distracted in a weird way. And I think we need to do a little bit, I'm not asking anything of anyone, but let's divert our attention towards things that serve our purpose. I believe that's where we have some utility with our attention. Okay, I'm just scrolling. Do you have food and water stored? I sure do. Samuel Eriksson, 16 years old, from Sweden, following my work. Damn, man. That's incredible. Starting off young, brother. Proud of you. No, I don't play video games. I don't own a television, or I don't have a TV. Let me see. Where did you learn about the occult? Mostly through listening to lectures and just thinking a lot, like just going within. I don't know if I like to like consider the word learning anymore and apply it to myself. I think the practice that I'm on right now is unlearning. And I think that has a lot more utility. That has a lot more utility for me and for the people that I work with. I think we're all just sort of experiencing amnesia. We're just kind of going through this big like amnesic, chaotic apocalypse. Like apocalypse really means the uncovering or like the unveiling. I think that's what we're actually going through. I think we're just unlearning and we're getting back to the origin of our truths. Things that we've always known about, whether it was in past lives, whether it's in the traumas of our childhood. Like I don't necessarily have your answer for you. That's just how I feel. I think we're all just experiencing some cosmic amnesia, and we're getting closer to our origin and essentially understanding that we're all one. We're all like, we all have a ancestry, a lineage of gods and goddesses that we have been succeeding. Anyways, Andrea Berry, having a rough week. Feeling blessed to be able to reset with Jordan and the fam. I'm sending you high vibrations, Andrea. I hope everything's okay. Gotta just have a good weekend, Gotta have a good weekend. Let me see. No, I don't. Oh, God. I'm going to move on. I like when I say that I like an artist and then people start coming out with like all the like, dude, they're all in the club. Like, who gives a fuck? Everything in your life is part of the club. The computer you're on right now comes from the club. The microphone I'm talking through So lame when people are like that. Everything comes from this overseer. Children. No, I don't think war is likely anytime soon. The war is already going on, and it's consciously. It's within your soul. That's what's going on. You know, like what we're experiencing right now is serious war in regards to people being denied food for not having a jab. Like, I'll just lay this out here to clear my energy. If anyone in this live stream is gonna consistently continue to work for a grocery store or somewhere that is absolutely essential for a human being to have access to, and you're gonna continue to work in that establishment even though people are being denied access to it because of this jab, you're essentially you're an op. You're like a serious op. And if you don't know what that means, then I'm sorry, but you're a savage. Like, we're at that time right now, that turning point where like people are going to need to question like what the fuck they're doing right now, you know? And the fact that people are being denied access to go into a grocery store because they don't have, like, think about this for a second, right? In April of 2020, when the pandemic started, you can go into a Walmart and do whatever you wanted to, right? At like peak hysteria, at like peak chaos mentally, insane asylum at level 1000, right? But now that everything is allegedly like going back to normal, you can't go to a grocery store unless you've got a QR code or something like that. Depending on where you are, of course. I'm not saying this is across the board. We do know places that are implementing this, right? Sounds like a war to me. Sounds like segregation, actually. It's medical segregation. We're at a point right now where we're going to have to start questioning things like that. Or else it'll be too late. And by too late, that means it'll start to affect you. And, you know, you could only run from these problems for so long before revolution just happens to be the byproduct of people being denied access to food. You know, go study the Holodomor, and you'll learn a lot about this problem. I'm just looking for some questions. Got 600 people up in here. That's amazing. So, Mary, the end of the bull run is whenever it wants to end. I just assume, based off of my study of the markets and how these cycles work and how prior asset classes behaved in Shemitah cycles, that January will be the start of a correction. But it doesn't mean that in early January we might not have an amazing surge in prices to the upside. So, yeah. All stable coins are more alike than they are different. USDC, DAI, USDT, they're all ran by the same organization. People think that they're different, but they're all ran by the fucking New World Order. Don't worry too much about stuff like that, guys. Again, it's going back to duality. Like, they want one stable coin to be better than the other. It's all bullshit. Dillip, sending you much love, brother. Yes, I think crypto is going to definitely stay for long term because crypto is the new economy. The new economy is blockchain technology. So, yeah, it's undeniable too. You can see it. Like, even the restaurants are starting to use QR codes to be able to check their menu. So, you know, we're close. Things like Apple Pay and the Crypto.com card and BitPay, and all of this stuff is to essentially usher people into this new quantum reality that we have. And it's already good to go. It's already set up. It's just time for it to be implemented. And the way that they implement it is without even they just do it in plain sight. They don't ask you for your approval. They'll just start building ATMs with fingerprint scanners on them. They don't ask you first, like, hey, is this okay with you guys if we just replace your local bank teller with a robot? They don't give a fuck about you. They'll just do it, right? And that's where we're at. That's where we've always been at. And it works time and time again. So the changes are coming. It's all about how we react to them. And they're going to create a system in which we have no choice, but we just have to go along with it. There's going to be things that we don't have to go along with, though, and that's where I would put a little bit more of my energy. That's the stuff that I think is going to be a little bit more dramatic. Wow, David, Jordan is consciousness powered through the pineal gland. I think consciousness in and of itself is something that is coming from the external and sort of funneling down through you, probably through the crown chakra, down through the pineal body. But, the eyes, I always call the eyes that we have, that we see things with, the eyes to the sides that lie. And the pineal gland is the first eye. That's what I call it. So the eyes on the sides create an illusion. And the pineal body is essentially plasmatizing the illusion you see. That's why we use this term called like calcified or decalcified pineal. We're kind of like shitting on people who have a, you get what I'm saying. I don't want to talk negative, but this isn't how I'm talking. This is just what I've heard like woke people say, I'm using air quotes right now, woke people. But it seems as if consciousness in and of itself is moving through certain faculties of the body, not necessarily the pineal gland is like the main control center or anything. I think what might be one of the main control centers could be your gut and also your sexual organs. Because at the end of the day, all creation comes through the unity of sexual organs. Anyways, continue on to another. Bob Walter says, Jordan, after conclusions of the bull run, will you offer one-on-one monthly subscription again? Perhaps. I have to see what I want to do in 2022, Bob. I think I need to say no more. I say yes a lot to things. It's funny, I was listening to the recent Kanye West interview where he was just like, I'm a yes man. I say yes to everything. And, he's super fucking successful. I know he's at his level because he's a high level Mason. He's definitely part of the Illuminati. But the point is, though, is that clearly the Illuminati leverages on certain energy over other forms of energy, Like you don't see Kanye West wearing a dress, but you see Kid Cudi was wearing a dress a couple days ago, literally looking like a mess. Like that guy looked like a fucking mess. And I love Cudi's music. But again, it's like I say that I like Cudi and somebody's going to come out and be like, but that guy wears a dress. And it's like, bro, I don't give a fuck what that guy wears. Kurt Cobain used to wear dresses. But Nirvana changed my life. Like, it's all about the frequency in the music and the art that someone creates. If you go study like every single person who's an artist, you're going to dig up some dirt on them. So you are essentially playing out the same vibe that these cancer culture parasites do. You feel me? Every time that people who are quote unquote conscious of what's going on here has something to say about these like quote unquote lower level elites, like that point I just made before of like Cudi wearing a dress, like as your way of like shitting on this guy. It's like, okay, bro, that's the same energy though that somebody's giving fucking Dave Chappelle for like Me Too jokes. And it's just like, it's nonsense. Let's just fucking laugh and have a good time and listen to the music, laugh at the comedy. If you don't like it, stop fucking consuming it. It's very simple, right? Like if you don't like the movie, press stop. But have you made a movie? Have you been a producer? Are you a director? Can you play a guitar? It's always the person that has the most to say about these artists that's the least creative person. Always. It's like Yelp reviews. You know, I was talking about this with Logan yesterday. And those people need to be put in their place, like for real. Like I was watching a live stream of Kid Cudi, and that shit like had me in tears, bro. Like that, his music, the way that he portrays his emotion, and then to have somebody tell me that I'm like supporting Freemasonry because I felt an emotion from listening to a song. It's like, go fuck yourself, dude. I'm over that stuff. It's so like ridiculous. Matt Sack says, if you had to choose between Ethiopian food and black grapes, which would you choose? Shit. That's the hardest question I've been asked ever. Oh man. Yo. Black grapes for sure, man. I could eat nothing but black grapes. Actually, every day I've been drinking like almost a gallon of orange juice. I have this like spot that does fresh pressed orange juice, like straight up, just presses it, gives you the bottle. Oh my God, it's so good. So I've been on that vibe. But Ethiopian food is my jam. Like I love injera. I love injera, Masir Wat. I love Gomen. I'm a huge fan. So prevent the ice age, the question about the chemtrails prevents the ice age because essentially what it's doing is it's putting metal particulates into the sky, and when the sun actually radiates through those metal particulates, it's essentially superheating the earth. It's not cooling it down, if you think about it. All of this shit that they're spraying out of the back of the planes is mostly metal. Okay? And it's like physical pieces of it. Okay? Some of it is also cut up plastic, but a majority of it's actually metal. And of course they're mixing some other stuff in there like barium, but the physical quality to it is the stuff that's building up like on your car windshield and all that extra stuff. Like, yeah, that's metal. So this metal, as the light from the sun is shining through it, it's going to heat. And I see this ice age or this grand solar minimum being slowed down by the chemtrails. And of course, like, we call them chemtrails. I think the military calls it like a stratospheric injection, like aerosol, like a stratospheric aerosol injection. I think that's what they call it. So if anyone out there talks about chemtrails and someone calls you a conspiracy theorist, just be like, bring up the documentation on stratospheric aerosol injection and just put them in their place, like super quick. Because most people just don't know what the hell they're talking about. So it's pretty funny. Like I've done that to a couple people before, where they're like, you're like a tinfoil hat. It's like, okay, bro, you ready to get roasted? It's always somebody with like a college degree too that tries like stepping up to me that way. It's like, you got in the ring with the wrong guy. You got in the ring with Mike Tyson when he was like 19 years old. Ruthless. I appreciate you, meme. That means a lot to me. Michael Funk, I've read Genesis in the Bible, but I haven't read the whole Bible. But I do read like Proverbs once in a while. There's some really wise shit in there. Proverbs chapter 2. It's pretty wise. Lots of nuggets of wisdom. If you just separate all that Jesus stuff from the Bible and just like take it for the words that you're reading consciously, you're gonna see that it's massive. Rob Dog says, Jordan, thank you for teaching me a life skill. The Trading Wolves course is exactly what I was looking for. You're changing the world one person at a time. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you. I wake up every day and I'm trying to change the world. That's what I do. I'm glad you noticed. Colt says, what is your interpretation of Revelation, allegorical or literal? You know, I think, Colt, I think that they're actually using the Bible as a playbook, like a blueprint. That's why it's plagiarized. That's why it's been reinterpreted so many different ways. But I actually believe that it's it's kind of like a playbook, and they have a bunch of things to pick from in that playbook, just like a head coach would. So the players of the team in this analogy are the Freemasons, and the people who are running the show are the elite bloodline, the bloodline family, the royals, whatever you want to call them. They're the head coaches, and their main player characters are the Freemasons and the Illuminati, and of course these are non-bloodline related, but they might have a little bit of mixed blood, a little bit, just enough, to be elect. But for the most part, they're not full purebred. Like, that's why they're being used as pawns. And some of them just short circuit, like you have people like Shia LaBeouf and, Kanye and Mel Gibson. And like these people, like they just can't play that role for too long because their soul is like still kind of tethered to source. And they could only keep up with that Luciferian shit for so long without getting off the rails. So Levi Brown, $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Says we need to disconnect and get back to a toroidal system. I agree. So Levi, that's why I made the pupil in the logo that I designed for the front of my merch. The Taurus. The Taurus is the eye that could see, and that'd be the pineal body. Sliding with Sasquatch. I like that name. It's $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Says I was planning to trespass in Antarctica to escape this crater. I'll let you know when we break out. Much love to y'all. Yo, good luck, bro. That'd be sick. That'd be tight. Yo, Josh says my rambutan tree has your name on it. Yo. I love rambutan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Shout out to Linda for the fruit the other day. That was beautiful. That made my week. Let me see what's up. Yeah, if you got a fake V card, you should probably keep that to yourself. Okay. I'm trying to stick to positivity tonight, guys. I'm just trying to hang out there. Yeah, Dillup, I could give you a wrench. That's the last one I'm giving out, though. I already got enough. I got enough mods. But yeah, you're wrenched, brother. You're a good soul. I can feel it. Jody's just keeps saying the same thing. No more questions about crypto, please. Jody, you're a legend. I appreciate you for sticking through all this chaos. People wanting to talk about crypto. Guys, let's just can we just have a day where we don't care about crypto? I will start doing more live streams as the prices start getting off the rails, though. Like, I'll call it, instead of live stream hangout, I'll call it like crypto hangout, and we'll kind of do a little bit more crypto. But for these ones on Fridays, let's just kind of chill, chill out. Ever seen a UFO? Dude, I'm in a UFO right now. Yeah, Applehead Productions, I agree. He's probably into men, but that's not the point. My point was saying that, he's an artist, and gay, straight, fucking, if he's I don't care. I don't care what anyone likes to do in their free time. You make good art, and I fuck with that. Period. End of story. I don't need to like you. I don't like these cryptos, and I'm still fucking investing in them. You don't need to like shit like the person behind everything that happens in our realm, you don't even have to like me. Maybe you hate me. Maybe you hate my voice, but you just like my videos, So that's what you do. You show up to watch my videos, even if you hate my voice. So, right? It's I just love Kid Cudi's music. I don't care what dresses he's wearing. He could wear all the dresses in the world. He keeps wanting to make that sick music. I'm down. I'm a simple guy. Yeah, of course, they're all demonic. We're all demonic too, though. Like, there's a demon in all of us. You just have to face that. If you think you're like perfect, if you think your shit doesn't stink, then like you have a lot of work, man. People that think that they're, perfect and there's nothing like evil about them, well, you don't know because you've never been pushed to those limits before. If we had food shortages, we'll see how fucking peaceful you are. If your children stopped having food, we'll see how peaceful you are. We'll see how non-evil, how godly you are. Right? But nobody wants to go there because they live in La La Land. Everyone thinks they're so perfect. Yeah, Ethiopian food is dope. You guys are still talking about Ethiopian food. Nah, I haven't really messed with too much drugs. I'm pure, bro. I'm a pure soul. Let me see what's going on. Got like 600 people. Oh, was Proverbs written by King Solomon? I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't study the Bible too much. Like, I don't study it. I've read a lot of it. Like, I've read a lot of parts of it, but I'm not like a scholar. I did do a decode, though, on the betrayal of Jesus and the 30 pieces of silver and how that ties back into XRP and Ripple by the code. And I just haven't released it yet, but it's so good. It's so good. And, yeah, I really would love to find some time to do it, but I just can't. I can't. I'm way too busy. Okay. Well, Isis also coming back to Eos and Eosphorus. It's all more alike than it is different, guys, when you start to study the origins. It's not like all these names that they give Christ, like it's not real, man. It's just fucking made up words. Jesus Christ is Caesar Borgia. That's who Jesus Christ is, okay? It's the son of a pope. All right. There was like 400 years in between adult Jesus and baby Jesus. Okay. Just do some studying. Baby Jesus was Valentine. Baby Valentine. Cupid. It's a fucked up story. But you got to just do some research. You start to put this all together. So Jesus, before he was an adult, which took like 300 to 400 years to catch up because Julius Caesar implemented this idol picture of Caesar Borgia, the son of the Pope at the time. Before that, we had Eros, which was baby Jesus. And Eros is where we get the word erotic from, or eroticism. And that's why the Greeks are freaks, because their whole thing was about pedophilia and bestiality, and it's fucked up. But that's the origins of that cult. And I know that hurts people's feelings, but you just gotta read. Gotta go do some study. Until then, you're probably gonna take shit personally. I mean, when I started learning about all this stuff, it didn't make me disregard the power of what a Christ is. Okay? Christ is an illumined elect position. It's a king. It's the one who wears the crown. Okay? And that's why Jesus dies at age 33, gets resurrected 3 days later. His real birthday is in March. March being the third month in the Gregorian calendar since the implementation of the newer calendar that we're all forced to using. So it's all about the threes. And the three is the Trinity. And that's where it comes back to Neo and the Matrix movie, and Neo being the one is Christ, etc. When Neo dies at the end of the movie, it lights up behind him like a crucifix. The crucifixion in and of itself, I've decoded before. Comes back to the X. For anyone who watched my Saturn and Jupiter decodes in my Mastermind course, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. X being the 24th letter in the alphabet, the 24 hours in the day. Again, when half of the day is ruled by Horus, the other half being ruled by Set. Sun, Set, okay? It's all in the words. It's all right there. And that's what coronavirus is all about, guys. You know, coronavirus is a good thing, and I'll break down why for you, okay? This is a clear pill moment for everyone because we got 600 people in here. Okay? The letter V for me, it's always coming back to Venus or feminine energy, right? Now, I comes back to I, like the eye in your head, your eyeballs, or you, I. But this I that they're talking about is the pineal body. So V, which goes back to Venus, which goes back to the light bearer or Eosphorus. It's the light, the brightest planet. Now this light is incapable of entering that pineal body or the data, the information, the truth. Okay? For some, we can actually accept that light though. We could absorb that light and utilize that light. That's why it has created a conscious awakening. And Corona, of course, is the crown, right? The crown of thorns. The crown of thorns is wisdom. Okay? So what they are doing is they're parasiting the pineal gland. But for some, it's actually activating your pineal gland. 9/11 did this to you as well, because 9/11 was the ritual of knocking down the two towers, which is the 11. And then L goes back to Saturn, L11. Okay, 1-1, two towers. Then they knock down these two. It could also be perceived as Boaz and Yachin, but it's about the numbers and the symbology. So just follow along here. We have 9/11, which is the two towers. They knock down the two towers. That 2 is 2, 1 is 11. Then that energy goes into tower 7. Okay, it's the 117. Then this energy gets sent all towards the Pentagon, which is the pentagram, all right? This was a fucking energy harvesting ritual, and it worked. And this area of where the Pentagon is in the Washington, D.C. area, which is situated on the Potomac River. The Potomac River is the birth waters for Virginia and Maryland, which is the Virgin Mary, okay? It's the vaginal canal. And that's why at that area, there's so much symbology going on there on the grounds of the Capitol building and that whole area in Washington, D.C. Okay? But what's most important there is the phallus of Osiris, George Washington's monument. And under the phallus of Osiris is the Vesica Pisces. Okay? The Vesica Pisces you could see in the MasterCard logo. You'll see it a lot, actually, in the symbology in a lot of payment solutions and etc. Things that have to do with money. Why? Because money starts with MON, which goes back to the moon. Anything that starts with the prefix MON goes back to the moon. And the moon is Isis, divine feminine energy. Okay? I could keep going, but I'll stop myself. Otherwise, it'll be an infinite stream of consciousness that never ends. Yeah, I'm hoping that next week's live stream on the eclipse will be successful. We just have to see how the market's looking, because if the market's going to give a very volatile, I might need to prepare myself a little bit more for that, because I was planning on doing some mushrooms that day. We continue moving through. Yeah, the sun and the word sun and how it goes back to soul, and you have multiple souls. You have SOL, which is the Latin sun, and then you have your SOUL, which is the soul that we learned from religion, essentially. Remember, religion is Ra-ligion, Ra, sun god Ra, religion, and the word religion comes back to religare, which means to bind together, okay? Because once you could bind everyone together, you could control them. Remember what I just said, okay? So what's going on here with sun is there's another important soul that we disregard, and that's the soul of your foot, okay? And that's why it's important once in a while to get your feet in Mother Nature, get your feet grounded, because that energy comes up through you as well. It's like a tourist system. It goes up through the body, out through the body, back into the base, up through you again, out the crown chakra, back around. It's infinite. It's always fractaling, spiraling out like that infinitely. Let's keep going. Pax Max 11, I appreciate your super chat. Thank you. Says, hi Jordan, I came to your channel for XRP cult. You healed me. Thank you. I wasn't ready to read that. Thank you. I mean, I'm happy that I've helped you with that. I don't know. Yeah, I feel bad for the XRP army, you know, man. Like, they're going to be holding the bag in 2022, waiting for, like, the second coming of Christ, a.k.a. Gary Gensler, to show up with a head of hair. You know, when XRP hits 3 digits is when Gary Gensler starts growing hair. That's when that will happen. That's the moment. Yeah, these visuals are really, really, really chill. Let's keep going. What's up, Dinosh? We should have a rap battle, he says. Nah, I'm good. I don't battle with anyone. I don't compete. Levi Brown says, how do we turn the ship around and get our own self-sufficient tech and suffocate the Luciferian Masonic virus system? Whoa. First of all, we have to take personal responsibility. Secondly, we need to start allowing love, like true love. And that's community. That's disregarding our differences and working more with what we're similar in. And, you know, it's sometimes difficult when you have a community like this, which is fulfilled of many countries all around the world, lots of different energies, and, you know, then I'm the one speaking, and it could create like kind of, you know, could make something that is big, but it could also be very, how do I say this? Could bother some people, you know, like, cause that's just part of the way that people are sometimes. Like, some people, they want to hold the torch, and that leadership role is not for everyone, you know. That's why all the good leaders that we've ever had in our world go missing. So what I would say is, instead of us seeking leaders, we need to seek the leader within, okay? You need to seek your godliness or your goddess quality from within you, and that is how we will be able to turn this ship around. In your words, Levi. We literally suffocate the system by not giving it attention. If everyone just woke up tomorrow and started acting like an animal, like a deer or a cow, the New World Order loses. Because cows aren't paying their bills. Cows aren't fucking talking about the gas prices. They're just eating grass, chilling out. They're harmless. But could we do that? Could we stop feeding the beast? I don't think so. I think we secretly love this game. And in the words of the great Logan over at Decode Your Reality, the game needs players, right? And we're the players. So what I've decided to do is just step off the chessboard. At one time, I thought I was all big and bad because I had knowledge and wisdom, and I used to want to be like a higher rated piece. Instead of being a pawn, I would seek the role of a rook or even a king. But now I'm starting to get to a position where I'm like, yo, I don't even want to be on that board anymore. I want to step the fuck off and just do my own thing. Create my own, you know, path. Follow myself. Not follow a leader, not follow anyone else. And that's why they got everyone caught up in all this stuff about, you know, Democrat, Republican, fucking left and right, blue and red. It's just bullshit. And how could we ever progress as a species if we want leadership? Like, wanting leadership is essentially is essentially asking to be a slave. Why would you ever want that? You know? I wouldn't. I mean, I can't. It's not in my code to be that way. So I wake up every day and I just am. And there's no one that could control me. If we tapped into that energy, you'd wake up every day and you don't even have a president, you don't have a ruler, you don't have laws, you don't have any of that. Like, government doesn't exist to me. Government literally means gubernare mentis. That's the breakdown of that word, which means mind control. That's all they're actually doing. They're just controlling people's minds. And I believe that energy, it comes from our attention. If we give it attention, therefore it has us. We are its bitch. It has mastered us. And in order for us to really progress as a species, we need to stop giving it attention and just exist harmoniously with the people that serve our purpose and the entities that are in our best interest, which I believe are people in this community, like-minded people. Limbless Mime says, tell me the whole story of Jesus now. Does Logan go over this shit? I would assume that Logan's decoded Jesus a bunch of times, and his work is incredible, so you should probably go over to his channel and just give it a shot, if you haven't already. I'm sure he has a lot of work on Jesus, and I'm sure it's amazing. But I just know what Jesus is based on the true story of what Jesus is, which is the image of Jesus is Caesar Borgia, like I've already just told you. So, yeah. And it's all about the Jesuits, like in regards to this current power structure that we're dealing with firsthand. So I mean, like, there's obviously way higher things above the Society of Jesus, but what we deal with on the closest power, the closest master that we have, besides our hate, is the Jesuit order in regards to the structure of the system that's been implemented and has worked best for the longest amount of time. And it's hidden in Catholicism in a lot of ways, but it actually is not. It's of Jesuit origin. Yeah, Mary, I agree. I think we are. I had a mushroom trip like that once that basically described what you just said. So Mary Simmons says, we are every biblical allegory of every character, including Jesus. I agree. So I'll let you know how I feel about this Jesus character and how it has a little bit of utility to me. Okay? So I think we as a human, as a body of light, we are Jesus Christ. Okay? And Jesus Christ is just the flesh, the matrix body, the carbon man, okay? And God is consciousness, infinite consciousness. And in order to actually get to Christ consciousness, we need to have a tether to that source. It's like a laptop. Like, a laptop's useless until it gets some Wi-Fi. But how do we get the Wi-Fi? Well, we need a router. We need something else to kind of be that middleman to carry over that energy. So the internet is infinite knowledge, infinite wisdom, infinite teachings, all the things. It's also filled of all the putrid, ridiculous shit that you know where I'm going with this. So, but the laptop is Jesus. It's just the physical thing that will be showing us the data that gets channeled through with that middleman. Okay. So what's that middleman for us? Well, that could be our choices. That could be our emotions. That could be our traumas. That could be our experiences. That could be the food we put in our body. It could be the way we treat each other. That is what unlocks our access to infinite source. We're all Jesus Christ. We all have 12 disciples. We all have a Judas. We have someone who's going to sell us out. And that is you. That is you. That is within you. You will fuck yourself over so many times in your own life and not even realize it. That's facts. I had to come to terms with that shit. I had to come to terms with that to see the truth of what we really are. You know how many times we want to give in to like the craziest stuff ever? Isn't that you betraying your higher self? All these people out there that know the truth and they're just taking a jab so that they could go to fucking work for a couple more months before the machines take their job anyways. That's Judas, bro. Like, I'm sorry to get so energetic right now, but it's just like, this is it. This is the truth. Like what you said, Mary, like, I agree. We're Peter. We're everything. We're Noah, we're Job, we're all the stories, because that is what the Bible is. It's a compilation of experience, and a human could have all those experiences. And that's what we are. We're a human. We're a body. That body is Christ. Now, how pure do we want to be on that journey of being a Christ? How illumined or how elect do you want to be, right? And that's where we get the Freemasons, the 33rd degree, all that stuff. So that just is what it is. See, I'm not sure how long we've been going for. Danielle Yacubian, I appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Okay, I'm trying to get to the question. Who am I? I'm everything. What's my favorite book? The one I've yet to write. Yeah, James, I said that I think XRP can go as high as $14 to $15, but I don't think it's going to 3 digits anytime soon. That'll be the last thing I say about crypto. The 8th gate, bearer of water equals 137. Yeah, that was the time that I was born. I was born at 1:37 p.m., the 33rd prime. So it's no mistake that, Logan's also pointed this out, that I've chosen the name WatersAbove, which I didn't even intentionally know most of that coded stuff when I came up with that name. But it shows you how the code works. Jordan, could you explain raising our internal vibrations and the key points to do so? Well, first you have to remove obstructions. So it's like all things. Like you could have a Lamborghini, but if you're putting sugar in your gas tank, that Lamborghini is worthless, right? You are a Lamborghini. Like your body is fucking high test. It's perfection. And what we do to it from the moment we're born, or what happens to us, unfortunately, is a bunch of things that create blockages and essentially bog down the system from being able to be optimal. That could be vaccines, it could be antibiotics, it could be the food you're being fed, it could be your parents or your mother not breastfeeding you. It could be so many things, right? I don't even want to go there, but you could probably guess some of that stuff. But now that you're here, you're grown up and you're dealing with this, you're detoxifying or seeking to detoxify. The number one way would be stop consuming parasites, and the parasites live within the flesh. So you would have to consider that. And if you don't want to, then we kind of can't go any further because, again, that's the biggest obstruction in the body. And it's full of adrenochrome, and it's full of hate, and it's full of fear. So you'd also have to consider that. It gets stored in there in the flesh. Let me see. Death is the phony. Everyone keeps saying Waters for president. Why would you want me? I'm the worst. I'm the worst guy. If I was president, I would just be like, yo, like, you guys can do whatever you want. Like, what would I be controlling? It's like the job of a president to just control a people, like with casting spells. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, shouldn't have read that message. Yeah, so God Gave Lamps says Jesus is really Julius Caesar. That's true, but the Julius Caesar, yes, in regards to the story, in regards to him essentially electing himself to that position in society, but the picture of Jesus that we know when we're thinking of Jesus, like if you close your eyes, we all have a picture of Jesus in our head. That's Caesar Borgia. That is not Julius Caesar. And all that matters is the image, because the image is what makes us believe in that character, that archetype. It's what gives it the ultimate power. Like if you guys knew what I look like, you would completely change the way you feel about me just because you know the way I look. But all you have is my voice. So you have to deal with that. When did religions get created? When the elites found out that it was the best tool to keep their slaves behaved. RB says, would you ever go on Zachary Hubbard's live stream? If he invited me, I wouldn't mind. Would he want to talk about the things that I talk about though? I don't know. I've heard that he doesn't love to talk about crypto, so I don't know if he would want me on his channel. So, yeah. But I have no, like, I don't know him. I don't know him as a person. I've never spoke to him, so I have nothing to say no to. But typically whenever I go on anyone's, do an interview or podcast or anything, I like to talk to the person first, like off the record, just to feel them out, where they're at with things. So that way I could determine, where's the vibe of this going to go. I don't think having like a debate with somebody is worth my time. Not to say that I would debate with Zach, by the way. I don't have any intent of saying that or doing that. I'm just saying that I haven't heard from him, and until I do, I don't know how it would be possible. I do know that every time he does something about crypto, though, I show up in his comment section quite a bit. So it seems like I'm well known for this Gematria crypto thing, enough so that it's kind of even gotten into his fan base, which is cool. It's really beautiful to see that. I would love for all of the decoders to be able to get together on a large scale to help the world understand what's really going on here in this matrix. So I've talked to Logan about this a lot. Like, that's why me and Logan have so much love for each other, because we're collabing, It's not about, like, I feel like some artists they don't want to collab with other artists because they feel like it impedes on their business or something. And I just personally don't give a fuck about any of that. Like, I look at it as a big family. I look at all you guys as part of my family. I look at Logan as part of my family. I look at all of his followers as part of my family. And that's the strength and numbers that we need at a time like this right now. Like, the last thing we need right now is other conscious people being against each other. That's fucked. We need all of the high vibrational beings to come together right now. Jody, get off the XRP crypto BS today. It doesn't matter. Love that. RB says 33rd degree is nothing, though. It goes way beyond that. So it's so much, actually. And what you're saying is so, you sound so sure. Okay? 33rd is the state of transmutation in and of itself. It is an extremely profound thing. To call it nothing is hilarious, because if everyone in this fucking world was operating at that 33rd degree level, we would not have the fucking prison system we have today. Insane asylum Earth. We're in purgatory right now because we're not all at the 33rd degree. But you seem so sure of yourself. So good. Good on you. Good luck. What is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit? That's a good question. It's Ka, Ba, and Aku. That's what it is. It's the Ka energy, the Ba energy, and the Aku, all bound together. That's what the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is. It's the laptop, Wi-Fi, and the router. It's the car, the chassis of the car, the engine, the transmission, and the gasoline. That's what the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is. Okay, how much longer are we going to do this? Let me see. No sparkling water here, guys. Oh, man. Appreciate you, A. Sybil. All right. Getting close to wrapping this one up. Reach out. All right. Final thoughts, guys. Final thoughts. Final thoughts in the Matrix. No, crypto cannot end the prison system. This is it. What ends the prison is us. We are the keys to the lock. We just want to keep playing this game, so the lock will stay closed. When we all decide to stop playing the game, the lock opens. Thank you, Ivan. That's funny. So, Julie Gypsy, how can I use credit cards better? I'm thinking about actually releasing like a part of my Patreon. I'm going to do like a credit card masterclass. I just don't know how I'm going to word that so that it doesn't trip the system, because I'll probably label it as CC Masterclass, and I'll kind of talk about it in my Patreon before I release it, using the term credit card. I just don't want to trip the system because it's a touchy subject, falling under financial education, and I can't get caught up in that. So I have so much to teach everyone about credit cards. I just got 3 new credit cards over the last month. I got the Amex Gold Personal, Amex Platinum Personal, and the Sapphire Preferred Chase card. So I'm on my 13th credit card at this time, and all of them have gotten welcome bonuses. None of them I've paid a single dime of interest on. And I have a business, so therefore I could use business credit cards, and business credit cards do not report to your personal credit score. So if you get any business credit cards that have a welcome bonus plus 0% APR for an intro period, you could essentially leverage on them, and even at high utilization, do not have to deal with that high utilization reporting to your personal credit profile, which would hurt your credit score. So there's a lot for me to teach people about credit cards. It's a huge part of financial acumen. For those people that want to actually become more of the rich mindset, you need to learn how to master debt. Debt is a tool that sets people free. And it's amazing because credit cards are looked down upon, but in actuality, credit cards were a game changer for me when I actually opened up my mind to how they actually operate. And now I have the bank paying me. With a debit card, a bank isn't paying, you're not getting any kickbacks. But with a credit card, you're actually secured in all the money you spend. A debit card, you're not. A debit card is your money linked to your checking account. So if you have transactions that go through and your bank doesn't want to insure you on them, and they feel like it was actually you who used them, even if it was a scam and it was fraud, you're shit out of luck. But when it's with a credit card, it's the bank's money that's being stolen. Therefore, it is insured, and they will give it back to you because it's their money. It's actually, they're not even giving it back to you. It's the line of credit that was tapped into, and that line of credit, it's their money. So, yeah, credit cards are just better in all ways. I don't even use cash anymore because cash can't give me cash back. So I figured out a system where, like, when I want gas, I have one credit card that gives me 3% cash back. When I have groceries, I have a credit card that gives me 5% cash back. I have it all staggered accordingly. And I've just started getting into the Amex cards because you want to get Chase cards first. I don't know. I could talk about this all day. I'll stop. Otherwise, I'll keep going. Do I believe in aliens? Yep, I believe we're aliens. I'm an alien. Do you get tax breaks when you lose your crypto money? Yes. Losses don't get reported as gains, okay? So you only pay taxes on crypto for gains, profits. All right. Diggs, hitting me up with that 77. I appreciate you, brother. Sending love to all. Jordan, what was the moment in life where your soul got enlightened? Much love. There was a couple moments, Dig. One was the forgiveness of my father. The second one was I had a conversation with a deer once when I was on mushrooms, and the deer looked me dead in the eyes and said that we're allowing you to do what you do. And I was like, I looked back at him and I was like, what did you just say to me? And he was like, we allow you to do what you do. And I'm like, we? And he's like, the human race. And I just like started breaking down because I was like, what am I experiencing right now? that moment changed my soul. Like that changed everything about my existence. And from that moment on, I became a way better version of myself because of that. So those two moments, like just accepting shit, like accepting things. Believe it or not, I don't think that anything I've learned has helped me in my conscious journey. Nothing. Learning about like all the crazy shit that you could learn about in this reality, none of that has helped me. It was all stuff that got me more onto my like emotional, letting go of like of blockages, you know, just accepting, forgiveness, gratitude. That's what enlightened me. Learning about like child sacrifice and fucking crater Earth and what happened in 2022 for sure. Have you thought about getting an Uphold credit card? Uphold card? No. No, I don't really have any desire to be using crypto for payments. I rather just trade my crypto. Yeah, have a great weekend, Jody. I appreciate you. Yeah, we'll talk more about credit cards in the future. All right, everyone, I have to go. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Much love. Maybe I got cut out. I don't know.